Thank you for allowing me to present my vision of the mapping of the oceans today. My name is Mathias Jonas. I'm the Secretary General of the International Hydrographic Organization. The IHO primarily supports safety of navigation and protection of marine environment. We do this through coordination of global standards for hydrographic data and provision of hydrographic services. And ocean mapping is one of these services. But before I focus to the seas, let us do a detour via land survey. The 19th century was the great age of geographers to complete our topographic image of the continent. And there are famous names like David Livingstone, who explored Africa, the great trigonometrical survey of India, who gives us our today's idea of Indians' topography, and the Pacific Railroad Survey conducted in the American West in the middle of the 1800s, which provided lots of information for us. All those and comparable campaigns were driven by curiosity, scientific and ethical reasons, and commercial interests. And all insight and data gained were finally shared with the public. And this idea was so attracting that it jumped over to the oceans. And the General Bathymetric Charts of the Ocean, called GEBCO project, started in 1899. And the driving force, the driving man behind, was the reigning prince of the Principality of Monaco at that time, Albert Premier. And because of his motivation, the first global chart data set was named the Monaco chart, published in 1905. They had approximately 20,000 soundings for the whole global coverage, and that equals to the amount of measurement points which a modern sonar produces in 1 second. It matured over the years, as you can see from those smaller images which depict the seabed east from the Japanese coast. And the interest for this sort of information gained over this century. In the 80s, GEBCO became a collaborative effort between the IHO and UNESCO's Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission. And changing with the times, GEBCO became a digital data set, today known as the GEBCO Grid. This grid has its home at the GEBCO website. The resolution is not impressing, 100 meters, so this is less than 1 spot sounding per soccer playground size equivalent, but now updated annually. And thanks to our boosting Seabed 2030 project, with an increase from 15 to 19% coverage of 100 meters resolution in only 2 years. That's amazing, but it also tells that approximately 80% of the ocean are still not adequately surveyed. So we need definitely more. And of course, we bring all those information together. So the IHO established the Data Center for Digital Bathymetry, for this purpose named DCDB, and hosted by US National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. The numbers are impressive. DCDB archive holds over 30 terabytes now of depth soundings acquired by a multitude of sources, mainly from professional campaigns, but likewise it archives and provides data contributed in support of what we call the IHO's crowdsourced bathymetry initiative. And finally, of course, you can depict the data on the screen, but likewise you can use it and reuse it without any limitation. So the data set is free. But as I said, coverage could be improved and has to, and the question is who can help us to improve. So first place, of course, all professional hydrographic, oceanographic, and commercial surveys can help us. That can be on mission, in transit to mission, fishery in action gives a lot, and on passage. And that again addresses this idea of crowdsourced bathymetry. Since all sorts of vessels today while on passage, operate depth sound equipment to maintain the safety of navigation? And why not reuse those data gathered anyway for our purposes? So this is crowdsourced bathymetry. We have a good number of contributing partners of all domains. And as you can read out, there's software, hardware, and research, and a number of other parties who help us. I would like to draw your attention to commercial partners. Shipping helps us, but what has started as well is collaboration with submarine cable layers. And the reason why I address you today is for the energy and mineral resources part. And I'm grateful that the Inter-Ocean Metal Joint Organization paved the way and has handed over the first set for their area of interest in the deep sea. But of course, I ask you for more. And there are a number of others. So, but you see, we already placed a framework on that. And this idea matures on a global scale across many, many domains. But how is the situation really in deep water? And deep water is our biggest concern, not so much the continental shelf, deep water. You see this area in the East Atlantic, in the North Atlantic, sorry, east from Newfoundland. And when more color those high sea areas carry, when more data is available. And if we put a magnifying glass on the area east of Newfoundland, and look in our marvelous Bathy globe, which can rotate, and you can visit any place on Earth in terms of coverage of the GEBCO grid, then you see on the right side the relevant part, and on the lower right you see available data in that area. So the white traces are from single beam and the yellow traces are from multi-beam, and all the gray is unsurveyed. So, and that's it. There's no other source for a global ocean map as this one. And the situation is very comparable in many other parts of the world. So we can argue we live on a globe where we don't know much about the seabed topography as yet. So, and that explains why we simply need more data. But what prevents actually parties to help us? So there are national security reasons sometimes, and that is mainly related to territorial waters. Other coastal states are skeptical with the crowdsourced bathymetry idea. They don't want to see data recorded in their waters while on passage. And we have this problem of scientific confidentiality, that oceanographers still, I must say, tend not to share the data before they have analyzed, and sometimes they forget after. I have two reasons to present specifically to you. What we learned is that commercial data owners are reluctant to share for free, since acquisition of the data was so costly to them, and it breaks their heart to give that away for free. And on top of that, before they can give it away, they foresee that they have to do some data management, which delivery requires extra effort, and even that is without compensation. So in a way, understandable reasons, but there are prominent examples in industry who look at it in a different way, and the most prominent is fuGRO, well known as leading survey company, and I got this slide directly from fuGRO, and that lists their reasons why they help us, why they are so product, and they see benefits. They clearly see that this creates business opportunities for them. They clearly see that it helps them in turn to get access to improved global bathymetry. They can better plan their missions. They have a better idea how the situation on the spot looks like. Engagement matters with employees, with suppliers, clients, and shareholders. And as a modern company, they have their own sustainability agenda. They are committed to some ethics with what they do. And likewise, they look forward to get potential tax benefits for this sort of digital philanthropy. Finally, and I think that is what counts on the same level as all the other 5 arguments, there are reputation benefits, since engagement with and participation in these initiatives promote their corporate brand and enhance corporate reputation in ocean science to new community and stakeholders. That's what they ask for fuGRO. And I can only invite you to take example on that and develop your own strategy, why and how you should support us in our aspirations of global ocean mapping. If you made up your mind with that, if you understand the relevance and the compelling need to help us, then please contact us and donate existing multi-beam of your exploration area or single beam or whatever you have in full and reduced resolution. We are happy about everything, and we are able to accept any sort of technical format, and encourage contracted survey and supply partners to gather in-transit data to be forwarded to DCDB. This can be of enormous value and doesn't make a lot of effort for them to do the recording and send this to us after. It's not a matter of time. It is a matter that at one point those data arrive on us for further processing. In closing, I would share my confession that successful sustainable businesses adopt strategy that integrate financial, environmental, and social concerns. This is exactly the foundation for what we are hoping to accept for our undertakings. And I close with the invitation to become part of the greatest global mapping adventure of our time for the benefit of all humanity. Thank you.